Welcome back to another edition of Zero Blog 30. Wait, that's weird. What? I almost started that like the old Chaps and Kate show. Well, welcome back to another edition of the Chaps and Kate show. Yeah.
With Captain Cons. With his mustache gone.
Here.
Freshly shaved.
People are going to be very disappointed when your mustache is in on the... What happened? Did you have a fuck up whenever you're trimming it, or did you get voluntold to cut it?
I don't know if voluntold.
He got told.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, more or less.
Voluntold,
you know what? Yeah. But you know what they say: the brightest stars shine the shortest. There's some such thing like that.
Yeah, that is
right?
what they say. Yep.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing to know that it's there when I need it. And I got enough compliments that it gave me the confidence to bring it back when the time is
but
right.
I don't know if you kept it long enough to really grain itself into people's memory. I think you got to let it go for like 2 months ish.
I mean, it was nearly 2 months.
Wasn't it? I thought it went from beard to mustache.
Yeah, I don't know. It was there.
If I could do it, I mean, I have a little I call them catfish whiskers, you know.
Oh yeah, Case is looking great.
Thank you. But if I could grow more of one, I would for sure.
That would be awesome. You should get. Can you get testosterone shots just in like certain areas to make certain hair growths? If you had a mustache, it would be all time.
I feel
that'd
like
be interesting.
It would really make us stand out from other podcasts.
It really, because people will be like, "I thought Kate was a Marine. I had no idea she was a Navy chief."
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, today we have 5 rounds of the magazine. Round number 1, we're going to do a little negligent discharge goofing from a Reddit post that came about this week. It's fantastic. I've never seen somebody clamor and say that we need more negligent discharges, but it's something to explore. It really is.
It is. Yeah.
Round number 2, fuck around and find out moment of the week comes to us from some monkeys in India. I had no idea monkeys were this vengeful, but they are extremely vengeful. And
very
find
vengeful.
That out in round number 2. Round number 3, there's some rusty ass ships that are going all across the Navy. Every single picture. As soon as I saw these pictures of these ships that are covered in rust, I thought it is amazing that we can really figure out black holes. We have telescopes now that can look into the past, but we can't figure out how to make a paint that won't rust in salt. Like we just can't do it.
It's a little ridiculous.
Or some sort of magic metal that doesn't rust that works on ships.
I mean, they have entire buildings, like huge buildings that simulate the tides of the ocean. And we can't figure out how to get non-rusty ships. Just a pain in the ass. And Kate brings that to us in round 3. Round number 4, for all the logistics bubbas out there, some facts and stats about the holiday package delivery, Christmas tree sales, and last minute shopping that are going on. I used to feel so bad for the Marines that worked in like the post office shops around the holidays in a forward deployed area or in Japan where everybody's sending
don't
stuff.
Feel bad for them because they were getting their 5-finger discount.
Oh, big time. Oh, well,
I mean,
I bet those are the drunkest people on the fobs. They're like, oh,
because people sneaking booze in. Yeah. Because what's somebody going to do? Cry about it? They get in trouble too if they said they had booze coming. So
that's exactly right. That's how you get started with the little mafia goof. And finally, round number 5, we're going to do some Fort McCoy Nutcracker good vibe story, whatever that means. And round number 5.
I should have elaborated.
No, it's fine. Everybody who doesn't
There's a
know
Nutcracker at Fort McCoy, and it ain't your staff sergeant. You know what I mean?
That's true. I wish that was written down. But anyways, all that's going to be brought to you by our friends at Black Rifle Coffee. If you haven't had their coffee, what the fuck are you doing? Go get it. It's great. You can get part of their buy a bag, give a bag program where they're going to send a bag to first responders, whether that be firemen, paramedics, cops. They also give deployed military members coffee. They've done 6 million cups of coffee so far. Make sure that you go get that at blackriflecoffee.com. Use the promo code 0 today and get the freshest coffee in America shipped directly to your door. It's an easy decision. Go with Black Rifle Coffee. All right, let's get going with round number 1. First of all, by the way, this COVID thing at Barstool is outrageous. It's outrageous.
Holy shit, dude. When I say I do not know, I've taken 3 tests so far in the last few days. I cannot believe I don't have it because literally, not exaggerating, every single person who sits around me, I'm like the center of a donut of COVID where everyone got COVID but me. And I don't know how, because I'm the grossest one there in that area.
But Me and you are the only ones around that were in that area that didn't have it. And we're the only ones who have used deployed porta potties.
That's true. That's a good point.
So
The
if you've
burn
been in
pit
a
coating our lungs.
porta potty,
If you've been in a forward deployed area,
you might be completely immunized from COVID.
Probably.
True.
I think that checks out.
Maybe
Because Kate and I aren't exactly pictures of health. And for us to be the only two to not get it, there has to be a military connection. Maybe it's still that peanut butter shot from boot camp that helped us out.
Maybe
I'm
there's
taking definitely some other things
this afternoon just because I'm like, it's going to hit me any day. There's no way I don't have
no
it.
free ads, but I got one right here.
There
I always get that motherfucking thing on me.
Yeah, you absolutely know. But I cannot believe it. And then we went to Army Navy game weekend. We were hanging out with a bunch of veterans, and I got a message that like 13 of them have it now from across the country who had come into New York for it. So like fucking everybody I know has it. So
except ZBT.
Yeah, except for
ZBT.
Us.
You're right.
Peanut butter shots all around. Everybody has it. What if they did that? What if they're like, look, we need everybody in each neighborhood to get together. You guys are going to get nut to butt. We're going to come by with the shots. And then after we're done, everybody's going to sit and rock back and forth together.
Yeah, I think that would work.
I think if it meant that people wouldn't have to deal with this stuff, I think they might sign up for that.
Did you guys have to do that at school, Cons? Did you guys get the peanut butter shots together? Have we talked about that before? Like when you first get to boot camp, everybody goes through this little, it's a line where you go through and they just take it, they put it in your butt, they shoot it in there, and then you all sit in straight single file lines and you sit and rock back and forth together to rock the peanut butter shot around that has all these different vaccines in it, and nobody knows what the fuck's in it.
Nobody knows what's in it.
Go.
We just do it.
Yes.
It was the only time I cried at boot camp. I didn't openly cry, but like tears came to my eyes because I hate shots so bad. And it's not just the peanut butter shot. You get like 5 different shots. You go down this line.
They gotta kick you out. If you cry in that moment, they're like, nope.
Yeah, nope.
Not gonna work.
I was like, what the hell is this? Yeah. Anyway.
I almost had like my nose got smashed with a pugil stick at boot camp and I was bleeding all over the place. My lip was split. And I was like, this hurts so bad, but I can't. It was the first time in my life where I really felt like I had to suppress my emotions where if I let people see how much this hurts, where I will get roasted for eternity.
Forever. You would never live it down. Right?
Never. All right, let's get into round number 1. What do we got, Kate?
Negligent discharge goofin. And a negligent discharge is when your weapon accidentally fires. And oftentimes it is due to negligence. It's something that absolutely could have been avoided. It is user error, and it is a very bad thing. I was looking up the stats online. About 500 people in 2018, 458 people died from accidental gunfire in the USA. It occurs mainly with those under 25 years old, and it's people goofing with guns, often children, and they don't realize that whatever. And
500 deaths a year is a lot for that.
Yeah, 458 in the United States was the most recent tally that I saw. Anyway, have you guys ever seen them in action? Have you ever seen a negligent discharge?
I saw one at a chow hall in Fallujah.
In the chow hall?
Yeah,
outside the chow hall, because you had to go in and you had to clear your weapon before.
Okay, yeah.
And it came in. The dude it was just a pistol, and the dude racked it back and thought there was nothing in it. Pulled the trigger, and the barrel, boom, went off. You want to talk about a first sergeant major like swarming? Lord of mercy,
buddy. Yeah, like being a donut crumb in September.
I was standing on the side like Hercules, get him, first sergeant.
Yeah, I mean, anytime, even at the smaller outposts in Afghanistan, anytime you left and then came back, you had to clear. There's a little clearing barrel area, and you had to clear it to be extra careful. Like in the military, we're crazy careful about this. Even still, once on a range, I saw a Marine shoot herself in the foot with 5.56 round.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I've seen 2 negligent discharges that have ended in not great. Foot blown apart. I've seen that. And then in Afghanistan, 110 over from me.
Yeah, but nobody's ever going to ask you about that when you're at the VA. What happened to your foot? Oh, it's a gunshot wound. What happened? I don't like to talk about it.
I don't like to talk. Yeah, I was in combat for sure. Then in Afghanistan, a guy was clearing his saw and did it wrong. And I don't know how he did it wrong, but he
had the blades turned backwards
and shot his buddy right in the upper thigh, like very dangerous. He had to get.
Why was his buddy standing anywhere near him?
He was across the tent, and then the round ripped through another tent. Like it could have done
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was the two. And then every now and then on a big rifle range, there'd be that pop after they said everyone like, cease fire. And then there'd be that like pop, somebody accidentally.
You mother, and everybody's like,
Yeah.
oh, it's almost like your kindergarten moment. Oh, that's why I like that gibbon video, where do you know what a gibbon is? Like the little monkeys, the golden gibbon when he's sitting on like a car and he's like,
Yep. Exactly.
That's a pretty good gibbon off the top of the dome.
That was a great gibbon. It was a great gibbon. But yeah, so anyway, what we're trying to get across here, very, very bad thing. Negligent discharges, bad. So this comes to us from at Lethality Jane, our friend Jada. Internal scream from every military officer and NCO. That was her commentary above this Reddit. Is this from Reddit, chaps? This post?
Yeah. No, it looks like actually like a DM.
Yeah.
Okay, so Harrison Daniel DeWeese. This is
sorry. Can I just point out really quickly? It's just kind of apropos that he has the 3 names, kind of like some of the people in history that have done bad things with guns.
Yeah. John Wilkes Booth.
John Wilkes Booth.
Lee Harvey Oswald.
Lee Harvey Oswald.
Whoa, what's up with that? Makes me think. Anyway,
John Jacob Chico Haberschmidt.
Right. Oh yeah, he fucked it up.
Yeah,
down story.
Which is scary because his name is your name too.
Exactly. Right.
It's right. When people go out, you shout. Anyway, Harrison Daniel DeWeese. He writes, pro tip: if you own a gun over a year without negligent discharging at least once, you aren't handling it enough.
True.
NDs, negligent discharge, are a natural part of handling weapons, just like tweaking your back is part of weightlifting, and car accidents are part of driving. I've never been. Anyway, I ND several times a year because I actually handle and know how to use my weapons. It makes me a better firearms handler and marksman. And it's a small part of the price you pay in the sheepdog lifestyle.
Oh my goodness.
Anyone who brings up sheepdogs loses me immediately. I'm like, I'm out on you. Simple fact is,
I think this has got to be satire. Right?
Yes, it has to be.
Wait, he's not done. Simple fact is, the safety mentality will build mental blocks in your head that will get you killed. You need to be comfortable putting your finger on the trigger and pointing the gun wherever you want, no matter the time, place, or status of the weapon. Taking time to check whether the gun is loaded whenever you pick one up will serve to make you hesitate in a personal defense scenario. You fucking safety idiots are going to get people killed all because of this fucking ND shaming. Guns are inherently dangerous. You need to accept it.
I'm in.
I have to believe this is fake. I'm sorry.
One person loved it.
Yeah.
I
bet more people loved it actually, because he is kind of right. Like if you never really are driving cars until you get in a wreck. Right. You've never really had sex until you messed up and ripped the condom.
I actually got pregnant from I guess.
Exactly right.
Whoa.
Wait, there was protection that evening?
Oh no, God no.
Oh,
no.
I was gonna say.
No, I'm not a loser. No, I'm only using it.
Yeah.
I'm cool. I'm breezy. Whatever.
Oh.
I'm laid back with it. It's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, chaps, if you're not hurting yourself weightlifting, are you even really weightlifting? Are you using enough weight?
True. I feel like if you didn't get hurt ever weightlifting, you never really lifted weights. You had to do something wrong at some point.
We start, the more we talk, the more we kind of get on this guy's side. We're like, he's kind of got a really good point,
Yeah.
I mean, he's kind of making some sense. I don't know.
Well, so whether his post was satirical or not, other people started responding and posting their own stuff. This person at ADSRF said, they've happened a few times. Like with me, they're saying, at a friend's apartment in college, just bought my first pistol from a gun show. I was 18. Another time drinking with friends.
Oh, that's always what you want to see.
Showing
Drinking
them my
with
new
friends.
Jericho, tried to manually decock, thumb slips on hammer, negligent discharge into the ceiling. But everybody, then somebody else saying, I went on copy pasta. I guess it's where you can see if people are trolling or not. And this post has been done before. These people are joking, but it's not necessarily the jokers. Whenever people post jokes like this, the serious idiot gun hardos are like, oh, actually, he's got a point. He's not wrong. He's
like us.
Whatever. Yeah, like us. Yeah, they do what we do, but they mean it. They mean it deep within their hearts. But this just kind of blew up on Twitter this weekend. A lot of people took it very
Imagine
seriously.
believing that with your heart. Really,
Yeah,
Kate. Like this is something that deep down at your personhood core, you're like, I fucking love negligent discharges. I think that they're a valuable part of life.
It means I'm doing something right. It means that
it means you're handling them. You're handling
one
them
goes off,
properly.
you're like, it's just a desk pop. It's fine.
Desk pop.
Yeah, it's no big deal.
Good desk pop. Yep.
I used to go shooting and stuff. I like grew up shooting but
really?
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. As a kid up in the Poconos, I think I was probably 8 years old when I started shooting 22s, and then I go skeet shooting. It's been a couple years now because of COVID, but every year I go skeet shooting and blah, blah, blah up in the Poconos.
How long do you think it would take you right now to do a complete functions check on an M2?
Oh, forget it. No,
I don't think I could do it. Like
I
figuring
don't
out
I don't
basic
remember
timing
how to
now, I
do
don't
it,
think I
yeah.
can do it now.
No.
But even as a little kid, though, my uncle, like the very first thing we always talked about before I got handed anything, every single time, even into adulthood, was, let me give you a quick rundown of this weapon again, even though you know it. And here's the weapons rules, and you keep it pointed down and the hell away from everybody else. And like, I don't know, it was always so paramount. And this is from like, I feel like any expert, anybody who like is serious with guns and smart guns, like they know that that's the thing. But people still look at what happened to Dick Cheney.
Yeah, and showing like it's showing something's clear, something isn't hot like that. I think that's an important part of it. That's what happened. That's what should have happened in the Alec Baldwin case. Like that,
Yeah.
like when you get lax with weapon safety, that's what happens.
Yeah, complacency kills. That's what they say. But
I do say that. All right,
anyway.
well, we took it to a sad note. Let's move on to round
We did. We
number
really
2.
did.
This one could make Kate mad. She doesn't know about this topic. But we're gonna go through it anyway. It comes to us from India. A group of monkeys in a small town in India took, quote, revenge on a local dog population this month by throwing them off the top of tall buildings and trees. It is reported that the monkeys have killed about 250 dogs in the process and are now targeting villagers. The monkeys, located in India, started a rampage after some of the dogs allegedly killed an infant monkey. The news reported that when the monkey sees a dog approach, they catch them and throw them from a significant height to the ground. In the neighboring villages, the monkeys have eradicated all of the dogs, and all of the dogs were killed in the villages. Residents contacted forest department officials to catch the monkeys, but when the monkeys were attempted to be caught, they were unable to capture a single monkey. Villagers believe the monkeys are taking revenge on the dogs, and now they're being chased from town to town, and no one can stop this group of monkeys. Kate, immediately your thoughts.
My immediate thought is, where the hell do you get your news? What the fuck is this?
This is honestly kind of awesome from these monkeys. And I feel like this is a lot of like our wartime policy in America. Like one American gets hurt and we're coming. All the monkeys are coming and you better get the dogs out of here.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta love where these monkeys are coming. They're very much foxhole type monkeys. Like, hey, you got one of ours, so now hell hath no fury, and we're bringing everything with us.
These monkeys really are essentially like that scene in the movies where it's like, now you can't leave.
Yes,
like
yeah.
One of us, now you can't leave.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's perfect.
And you didn't answer my question about where the hell you found this stuff. But that's
not important. It's not.
I love Indian news. I love finding out what's going on in smaller villages across the globe. It keeps the old brain sharp.
That's right. And I'll tell you what, I think we get a little soft living in this country, and you don't realize that there's other things going on in the world that, you know,
haven't had a negligent discharge in like 6 months.
Right. And there's monkeys running around taking vengeance on one of their own. So it's crazy out there. Don't get soft.
Here we go. More. After the forest department was unable to capture any of the monkeys, villagers began attempting to rescue their dogs on their own. But some of them have found themselves subject to the monkeys' retaliation, and some have even been injured themselves or been thrown from buildings. Villagers reported.
Stop. The monkeys are throwing people now.
Hey, don't you know that monkeys and apes are incredibly strong?
Okay, go on.
No, I'm
Villagers
serious.
reported that now there are barely any dogs left in the area, but the monkeys have not stopped even after months of attacks. The villagers reported that the monkeys are targeting small children and have created a panic within the villages. These monkeys are losing it. Like, this is legit Planet of the Apes in real life.
You get a letter in the mail with little monkey paw prints all over it. You open it up and it's you having sex with the waitress down the street. And like, it's like, we know. And you're like, oh my God, they're going to tell my wife as the monkeys, you know?
Yeah,
like,
that's what's happening. Listen to this, the next paragraph, Kate. It's no stranger just in India. In Malaysia, a wild monkey captured a puppy and held it hostage at the top of the tree for 3 days, according to locals in the area. The puppy was about 2 weeks old when the macaque kidnapped it. Macaques are notorious for being extremely intelligent, but also very sneaky. I know that
clearly
sneaky
and clearly vindictive.
Very much so. Some locals have seen monkeys raiding their pantries, snatching clothes and going through fridges. Due to the growing number of complaints, Malaysia's Department of Wildlife and National Parks began culling thousands of macaques last year, but many believe the monkeys were not trying to hurt the puppy rather than care for it on its own. That is until it was tossed from the top of the tree.
I
mean,
well, do we have to end each round on a down note? Is that what the
we're not done. Listen, you see a monkey walking the streets, you go the other direction. You go to the other side of the road.
I'll tell you this, those tourist videos where it's an area with monkeys and they're like, oh, holding out their hands of food. I would never. I want those fuckers
before we started recording.
Ever.
I was like, I'm not sure how Kate's going to feel about this, but one of the most horrifying 911 calls I've ever heard is when that lady was getting her face ripped off by the monkey.
Yeah, it's fucking terrible. I know Jane Goodall. She did all the work with the gorillas. Longtime stoolie. When she had her baby, she had to. It was like the opposite of a zoo. She had to keep her baby in like a zoo enclosure all day, like a 15 by 15 big cage, so that the gorillas wouldn't come in and rip the baby to pieces. Like she had to keep him separate from, even though she was friends with them, the gorillas or whatever. It was interesting.
Yeah,
could be jealous. You never know.
It could be jealous. Yeah, I don't know.
People who get that close to animals of that size and that stature doesn't make sense to me, because even if they grow up in a domesticated environment, there's part of them that is still inherently a wild animal and cannot be predicted. You can't talk to that and say like, hey, don't do that. They'll do whatever the hell they want.
I could see like Jane Goodall, who like took her time keeping her distance and learning. No.
Like
Grizzly Man going up there. He was like a Peter Pan reenactor who moved to Alaska and lived with grizzlies.
No, even
I'm
Jane
out
Goodall,
on monkeys.
I'm telling you, I think even Jane Goodall's got a few screws loose, because I think if you were willing to get that close to animals like that.
Oh, you got to. I mean, as somebody who trained little fur missiles for a living for a long time, sometimes even if you're a trainer of the dog, like you look at the dog and you're like, if you wanted to, pal, you could fuck me up big time.
Yep.
Like, you listen to me because you're being nice, but I've seen it where the dogs switch and it goes the other way and they're like, nah, dude, you're not going to physically correct me. Here I come. I'm coming up leash.
Whenever I'm out and I see people, they're like toddler or baby notices the dog walking down the street and they're like, oh, they hold their baby up to touch the. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing right now?
No, you don't. I mean, those TikToks with the people with the almost like wild cats that they're attempting to domesticate, like the single cats, and then some even with the big cats. I saw this woman that was like booping the noses of tigers and cougars and panthers and shit. I'm like, do you not hear that thing hissing at you big time? Yeah. Like that will eat your throat in one bite. No,
can I say something though, real quick?
Of course.
I've thought about it.
I would think so.
I would like to shift my stance on monkeys. I apologize for what I said before. Oh my God. They just texted me actually saying to watch my fucking back.
Whoa.
So I'd like to change my stance and say I was wrong. I didn't mean what I said. I'm on your side. And I too am anti-dog now.
The Gibbon community just reached out to me and they said that they're sick of me being a macaque sucker. So
they just tweeted out my address. So.
Oh, you just got doxxed. Wow.
Yeah.
Or swatted?
They're about to. It's what they said. They also have a picture of my tits. I don't know
okay,
how they got that.
If you want a picture also of a house, send it to Cross Country Mortgage, because that's how they know which house you're talking about. It's not with addresses. They just want straight up pictures. Just send them pictures and they'll send it to you. And if that doesn't work, give them a call, because buying a home can be the hardest thing that you have to do in your adult life. And this is the best chance to get it right. That's why we're big fans of Cross Country Mortgage. They're dedicated to getting you your dream home and will stick with you in the trenches until it's done. Cross Country Mortgage has a team of loan officers dedicated to getting it done and finding you the best possible home loan terms. They have an average close time of 21 days, which is ridiculously fast. Typically, you're looking at like 30, 45 days. And when you want to move in fast, especially in this military community, when they're starting to open up all the PCS moves and stuff again, and you want to buy before you go. This is a great way to do that. Go to crosscountrymortgage.com/barstool so Cross Country Mortgage can take care of you through the home buying process. Cross Country Mortgage LLC and MLS 3029. All loans are subject to underwriting approval. www.nmlsconsumeraccess.org. Let's move on to round number 3. Kate, what do we got about these rusty ass ships?
Rusty ass ships it is. First of all, what is rust? You know, what is it? I had to Google it because I wasn't sure.
Isn't it the oxidation of iron?
Pretty much, yeah. It's iron when it's exposed to air or water for a long time, it decomposes into other chemicals. And basically you got to use a special paint or a coating of oil or grease or plastic, whatever. Even the Bible, there's notes in the Bible that talk about what a pain in the ass rust is for their tools or whatever, the shit back then. The Romans, the Greeks, they all complained about rust.
I gotta admit, I had no idea where you're going when you said Bible. I was like,
yeah, I didn't either.
Rusty
you
Bibles.
know me, holy Kate, rusty Bibles.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was going to be like, you know how the words of Christ are in red, because you also have like some iron in your blood. If you're going to say though, it's been so long now that even though words in red are getting rusted.
Nope, that's not what I was going for. But rust
would have been
corrosion,
a great seminary joke.
If you have like anything with iron, it's potential for rust corrosion. It's caused plane crashes, bridge collapses, cars falling apart, a near accident at a nuclear reactor. Like rust is a big deal. It has sunk ships. It has done all sorts of crazy shit. And also, if you get rust in your system, real bad for you too. You get real sick. Second of all, before we get into the story, now that we know what rust is, everyone, do you know what ship watching is?
No.
I assume it's like looking at ships.
Yeah.
Yep, you nailed it. It's watching ships. But chaps, you know that guy on TikTok who watches the trains?
I love that.
So there's
guy.
this famous TikTok guy, and he fucking loves trains, and he travels the country,
especially the train named Dick My Butt.
Especially a train named Dick My Butt. And he goes and he waits by the train tracks for hours sometimes, waiting for this train he loves to go by. And then he's so fucking excited. There is a huge community around the world.
We can't move on past this guy yet. What's the most adorable thing that he says, do you think, consistently?
I don't know.
When he calls the horns tones.
Tones.
He'll drive a little one and be like, I want to see if I could do 100 tones going through this tunnel.
Yeah.
Oh, 91 tones.
Yeah, Traps is very into this guy. But there's people.
I love this guy.
Clearly.
There's people who feel that way about ships, and they will go to ports and causeways and whatever around the world just to see one of their favorite ships go by, or just to watch the ships
so
going by. And they get.
I was just gonna say, can we just call this what it is? And it's a bunch of losers.
Well, also too, I didn't realize if you can look up, it's marinevesseltracker.com. There's websites where you can pull up the map of the world, and it'll show you where all of our military ships are right now. You can.
I feel like that's not something we should have access to.
It's a thing. It's very much a thing. I don't know about.
You can tell me something. You can say the USS Eisenhower is in the middle of the Pacific Ocean and give me exact coordinates. There's no shot if you let me fly a plane that I get within 6,000 miles of that thing.
That's a great point, chaps.
It's not gonna. The Pacific
I'm not saying
Ocean
necessarily
is so huge, man.
Sure,
it's so huge.
Sure, but I feel like that information just should not be readily available to anybody with a computer, specifically anybody from other countries that might want to bring harm on us.
To know what to do with those coordinates, they're not worried about you finding out on a public domain.
True. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and you can look them up. You can look them up by
name. If you know how to do anything, you're essentially the guy from Law Abiding Citizen.
And there's so many people. There's Facebook groups like this. Seaway Ship Watchers has 44,000 members. They keep tabs on. I saw the USS whatever going through whatever yesterday. How neat. Blah blah blah. They keep tabs of all these different ships.
Nerds.
I know.
Well, seriously.
I saw a cute poster like, does anyone know if the fish and chips truck is at the St. Lawrence?
How many tones did it do?
Yeah. Anyway, these ship watchers are causing a huge problem for Navy PR right now, my friends. I'll get into the story by Jeff Skogel. Skogel. I'm fucking it up. Anyway, the Navy spends billions of dollars a year fighting corrosion, yet ship watchers have posted images for years of Navy vessels covered in rust, including the USS Curtis Wilbur, the USS blah, 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 all these big ships. The outward signs of corrosion on Navy ships are visible evidence that the service's operations tempo is so crushing that basically they can't keep up with all the rust. Most recently, and it just went viral again over the last week, like all of a sudden, all these ship watchers were posting all these big ships again covered in rust. Longtime naval journalist Chris Cavus shared photos on Twitter that showed a bunch of destroyer covered in rust. Another reporter took pictures of the USS Zumwalt, one of the only DDG 1000 destroyers, those real pointy triangle ships with rust all over its hull. Several of the Zumwalt's radar absorbing tiles, which are supposed to make the ship harder to detect, they also looked really rusty. The Navy responded, "We can't paint those tiles. They're very sensitive tiles." Okay, I don't know what you want us to do. Anyway, rust poses a serious threat to ships at sea, and sailors wage a constant battle. That's like a full-time job for some of them. It's just keeping the rust the fuck away. The Navy provided task and purpose with new pictures.
Telling that somebody in the bar, what do you do? Well, I'm the rust guy. So if there's rust, they send me out there and I grind it off.
Well, let's scrub it.
You're not doing a great job because I'm a part of this rust watchers group, and I've been seeing some stuff.
Imagine you run into somebody from the Rust Watchers group in the bar.
Oh, if 23-year-old Kate was a ship watcher and I ran into a Rust guy at the bar.
Oh, that DDG 2500 model. No rust.
We're only doing hand jobs.
No rust means no
hand job only.
All right. So basically all these ships are rusty. I will say from the pictures of it, it looks terrible. I will agree. It looks terrible.
Looks like it really does look like the
shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Navy,
take all that rust off and put it in your cargo pocket.
I was adding this story to the sheet this morning, still in an outfit I've been wearing for 3 days now, as I was shoving a pork roll, egg, and cheese into my mouth. And I was like,
where do you get your pork roll, egg, and cheeses?
Right down the street, a little bodega.
You got a little deli bodega?
We do. We have a little deli. But anyway, I was like, I was like, this is fucking shameful of them. This is shameful. I'm like such a gross piece of shit.
I think that's one that all older veterans get behind. Like if something's dirty, everybody's like, oh, this is just because back in my day.
Because in theory, keeping something clean is one of the most basic tasks in the military. It's basically like the basis of the entire military. So the fact that they're letting these massive ships get all rusty, it's just laziness. That's what it comes down to.
And it's I can see
damn
Russia.
Millennials.
I can see Russia's Navy sharing these photos, being like, "Look at dirty Americans." The macaques over in India being like, "We can take these motherfuckers."
That's it. The docs that would be connected with all this. It's like, oh, their ships are rusty. They must not be training very well. They must be at a terrible time in their Navy's history. They might be susceptible to attack right now. And it's just like, oh, all of a sudden their Navy's going to shit.
But they're using the oldest military argument in the book. Like whenever you are deployed and you're doing things are going to look nastier and less kept. Like same thing with deployed. Like if you're in a very hostile environment, you're not going to look super squared away, but then when you're back at home, you better be squared away.
Right.
That's the adage that they're using here. Look, our ships they're so rusty because we're using them so much.
We've been busy. In October 2020, the destroyer USS Stout was at sea for a record 215 days without a port of call for 8 months because of the COVID pandemic. How much do they want to kill each other?
Wait, time out. Ship? Like, what's like, do you guys know like what a normal like time away is?
Usually it's about, it used to be 5 to 6 months was the normal time away. Okay. But in those times away, you would do several ports of call.
Yeah, all right.
Go in and do like a restocking and all that shit where you can go places. If this is the way that I'm interpreting this is correct, they didn't go to a single port for like 7 months.
For 200, they probably ran out of hamsters for dinner around month 3. They probably wanted to kill each other. So if you want to address rust on ships, what's the answer? Operating less, maintaining more. It's recouping readiness. Why is the Navy operating as much as it is? People are asking. As of Thursday, 77 out of the Navy's 295 deployable ships were underway. That's 26% of the Navy. And the operations tempo may not be the only factor driving Navy's rust problems. While they are overtasked, commanding officers have a responsibility of making their ships look seaworthy. So some people are saying
responsibility that we could not possibly fathom.
No.
Yeah, right. They're saying, but
you're serving a forward deploy area.
But some people are saying, no. They're crying that they're overworked and that's why the ships are rusty. That's an excuse. It's too widespread. There's too many photos. These ship watchers are calling them out. Is this ship in this port, this ship in this port, this ship? They're all fucking rusty. Something's afoot. Someone said, quit putting the blame on rank and file soldiers and individual ship commanders. Tighter ships need to be run, and people way, way, way at the top need to give them the support so that it doesn't happen that way. That has to be written
by a former E3 or E4. Like, just no doubt.
It's not on. I wouldn't blame the E3 as if it was me, a former E3. I would blame no. This also made me think. You guys, I've dragged you to the Philadelphia Navy Yard for pork sandwiches, and it's called the Mothball Fleet. but it's like dozens and dozens and dozens. It's when you go over the bridge and see it, it's like amazing to look at. Just this huge amount of Navy ships, and they're all covered in rust, but like they still have to sort of maintain them. They have to keep the rust off them. And it's probably billions of dollars. Like I would assume millions at least a year to keep them.
Hey, was this just a long,
Yeah.
was this just a long ruse so you could talk about Philadelphia?
Great sandwiches.
What if they did? What if
The
they put
Knicks.
on those things that they do like window washers and just lower sailors down on the side and they sing like pirate songs while they're getting the rust off?
For sure.
You know, I think
That would be awesome to be one of those people. Like,
you know what's a bummer?
The pirate's life for me.
Doing a job like that, that's like just kind of tedious. It's very bearable and actually kind of enjoyable, I think. Because like if I have good music or a really good podcast on,
disagree.
wait, hear me out. If I'm cleaning or doing something I don't like, but I have a really good podcast or like Zero Black 30 or songs going, time kind of goes a little faster. I bet you their lives would be so much happier, but I bet they're not allowed. I bet they have to sneak AirPods down there with them over the
So
side.
you're just hoping that everybody has those tasks as ADHD, essentially. Like, becoming hyper focused on a simplistic task with distractions in the background. It's like ADHD.
I gotta tell you, I've been dipping my toe in a little Adderall lately, and it is a treat.
Little nose beers with it, or no?
No, not anymore.
Okay.
Just anally.
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. If you want to get into some anal actions, try it with our friends at Roman. They have Roman swipes that are clinically proven way to last longer in bed. So if you get super excited from some bum stuff, they're going to help you last longer, which is fantastic. Romans can send you swipes in a discreet, unmarked package, and small enough to fit inside your wallet, so you can bust that bad boy out whenever you need it. They're super easy to use. Just take them out of the packet, swipe them on yourself, and you are ready to go. GetRoman.com/0 to get your first month of swipes for just $5 when you choose a monthly plan. That's GetRoman.com/0. Let's move on to round number 4, where we're going to do a little Christmas logistics, because what these people do, nothing short of a miracle. And Kate, what I really like about this is that you're giving a lot of credence to your old field that you used to work in.
USPS. Well, I was UPS, not US Postal Service.
Right,
for
but
the record.
it's an adjacent field.
It is very adjacent, and I look back, like it's amazing. Like I was helping him, but he normally does this shit on his own. The amount of shit that one person can deliver in a day is insane. It's like wildly impressive. And that they have this all over wow, the mail system's really impressive. Anyways,
It really is.
20 billion with a B, 20 billion. That's how many pieces of mail the US Postal Service expects to deliver between Thanksgiving and Christmas. In the past, the busiest mailing day was December 17th. But with early and online shopping for gifts, there is no longer a busiest day. Instead, it's just a wild, crazy mess throughout the season. The busiest time is now about 2 weeks before Christmas. Starting around December 10th, customer traffic to post offices increases. The week leading up to Christmas gets the most mailing and shipping and probably angry people. During the week before Christmas, people are like the lazy ants like me who are like, fuck, I fucked up. They do the first class mailing. So they pay for the extra speediness. But anyway, they expect to deliver it. I'm just saying, I haven't mailed my gifts yet. I'm a piece of shit ant. I'm going to be doing first class.
They pay for the speedier way.
What? Anyway, the Postal Service delivers nearly 200 million packages per week for these 2 weeks.
Just listen to Kate go through this so earnestly. It's so great.
I'm sorry. I have a real quick question. Where did you why did you put this on the sheet? Like, where did this come from?
I love it.
No, it's interesting. It's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get inside Kate's brain. Like, where did
The
this stem from?
military is all about logistics.
Uh-huh.
No, I get that. What I'm getting more
do we
simple
not
than that.
cover government organizations?
No, I like-
USPS,
More
not a
simple
government
than that.
organization.
Kate, more simple than that. Like, what made you today think, like, you know what we need to talk about today? The mail.
The Christmas mail. What made me think of that? Fucking Christmas cons is right around the corner.
Yeah, you could introduce that one, Cons.
Put a fucking stamp on that.
All right, keep going, Kate.
Fuck. Excuse me. Anyway,
Cool story.
Do you guys send out like, here's our family, Merry Christmas? Do you guys send out like the 20 million?
No, we
cards?
used to, but now like we take a picture together by the tree and then I'll post it on Instagram and so will my wife, and that's essentially a Christmas card.
Yeah.
I still have I still get the people who send them. getting everyone's addresses and
well, now if you do it, you can put it in a website, and every year you could just upload a new picture and they'll send it to everybody. So you can make it easier. But that 1 year of putting like 200 or whatever addresses in would be a huge, huge pain in the ass.
Can we talk about something for a second?
Sure.
Chaps, you texted the group.
Yeah.
You just got my save the date for my wedding that I mailed in August.
Yes.
And you got the invite before the save the date. I'm not knocking the United States Postal Service. I just need to understand, how does that happen?
They actually didn't give me an update about what happened. They just showed up in my mailbox, and I was like, oh, wow, sent out twice. Like, they must really want people to RSVP. Then I opened it up, and it was a save the date. I was like, you got to be shitting me. What I imagine is it got stuck somewhere in the post office truck. Yeah. And they're like cleaning it out. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know how these things happen, but those kind of things happen pretty often within the post office where something will get lost. Do you remember I got that golf club back that I sent to you like 2 months one time, and it came back and it came to my new house, even though I'd sent it like 3-4 months before that.
Yeah. Crazy. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, well, anyway,
16 billion cards.
16 billion cards and letters between Thanksgiving and Christmas, 2.7 billion letters over the holidays, 801 million pieces of mail on December 20th alone, the busiest mailing day of the year, not package day. 801 million in one day. 30 million in pounds. That's how many pounds the Postal Service processes for overseas military installations. 30 million pounds in gifts. Our troops must have been good boys and girls this year. Right?
And girls.
I say good boys and girls.
Yes, good boys and girls.
Oh. Anyway, 155,000, the number of vehicles used to transport holiday mail. That's a lot of vehicle upkeep.
It is.
That you don't realize. 97 million
Not
customers.
a single one of them rusty either, Navy.
During the holidays, 97 million customers going to the post office. Can I tell you one of my biggest adult dreads? And it is terrible every time I go, is the post office. Yeah. It's so intimidating. And I always feel like everyone's in a hurry, and it's this part of their day they're trying to get over with. So everyone in line is kind of a dickhead. And then it's your turn. And I feel like I'm when you go somewhere and you're supposed to know exactly what you're ordering, but you don't know.
Like the soup Nazi. Yeah.
It's a soup Nazi vibe. And I'm like, I don't know how to do shit. I'm an adult, but I'm a fucking idiot. And I get so fucking
they act
overwhelmed.
like you should know every piece of terminology at the post office. Do you want priority, first class, regular, whatever? Like, I don't know which one is.
I don't know what the fuck any of that means.
I want whatever middle of the road is. I don't want the slowest. I don't want the fastest. I want somewhere in the middle of the road. I basically view the post office like I would ordering wine at the steakhouse. I don't want the cheapest one that they have, because that one's probably going to be bad. And I don't want the most expensive. I'm going to go usually about six cheapest is where I'm going to end up.
That's where I want to wind up too. I don't know. It's always overwhelming. Median Christmas tree prices this year. Cons, how much did you pay for yours again?
Well, they marked it at $150 and sold it to me for $140.
Somebody I sat near at the office paid nearly $300 for their tree.
Wait, what?
And they, in New York City, I went walking around to a couple of the different tree places because I was going to blog about it, and then I got sidetracked because I'm a piece of shit. The average tree price was about $300 for the areas in Chelsea that I was going to.
Dude, and those
were
like
just
little,
a regular
like 4-foot
tree.
5-foot trees, the little piece of shit trees. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. And this person who bought that expensive tree, said they didn't know what the price was, and the person was telling them all about what a rough year they had and blah blah blah. And then they're like, anyways, this will be $300.
Well, I will say,
like, fuck.
That is true. So the guy where I got my trees, they said they had to pay $30,000 additional this year than what they're normal used to pay for their lot of trees.
Yeah, so between forest fires, supply chain, there's all sorts of things that are fucking up but the median tree price across the country, $78. Yeah. The largest tree growing states, Oregon, 8.5 million trees annually. Then I didn't see this one coming. North Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't think that either.
The Pine Barrens I guess I can see it. 5.4 million. Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Washington. Taylor Swift, I believe, grew up on a Christmas tree farm in Pennsylvania a little bit. Am I right?
I'll tell you what. I would have in my brain thought you got to be cold weather climate to grow Christmas trees, even though that's not true at all. But that's what I thought.
Yeah. Anyway, that's my Katie logistics for you with just a bunch of random numbers. And there you have it. Hot report from me.
All right. If you want a hot meal, go with Trifecta Nutrition, because they support all service members and veterans. And it's the most important tool in your life is your body. And Trifecta is going to help you take care of that. They have an in-house registered dietitian to serve as a dietitian for the Navy SEALs. So you know it's legit. If she made Navy SEALs perform at their peak, she can make you perform at your peak too. You don't have to suffer to eat healthy. It's convenient, save your time rather than having to spend hours prepping every single meal all week long. And if you're going to be doing a little bit of New Year's resolution goofing, and if you want to get like the Liver King, you can have that diet too. I don't know if they have bone marrow Trifecta. Like if you're like, I want the bone marrow, liver, and kidneys and a little concoction. I don't think they have something, but I bet they have the next best thing right behind.
They might not have an all testicles meal, but they have something much better, I'm sure.
Maybe they can look into it.
Perhaps.
Lots of people are trying to get bull nuts now.
I like bone marrow.
Do you?
I thought you were about to say bull nuts.
You spread it on toast?
I've never done that. I think I've only had it in restaurants and at Largest House.
Kate, why'd you get so upset? Because it's not Trifecta Nutrition and it's not a normal burrito bowl or something like that you can get from them. It's not going to be something weird. It's going to be something that you actually like. Go get it right now for 40% off with the code 0 at trifectanutrition.com. All kidding aside, they're great food. It's easy, especially if you're living in the barracks, you're not able to go home, or God forbid, you're like so many of the Barstool employees and you have COVID and you have to quarantine during Christmas season. That sucks too. You don't want to make yourself a full ass turkey. So have them send the food straight to your door. You're going to want to try that out. Let's move on to round number 5. This one, Fort McCoy, little Nutcracker goofing.
Yeah, it was just a good vibe story for the holidays by Lucas Robinson over at the Navy Times. The iconic melodies of the Nutcracker sounded through an unusual venue, a U.S. military base hosting Afghan refugees. The Madison Ballet presented 4 performances of the classic this past weekend at Fort McCoy before a crowd of enthralled Afghans at a warehouse on the base. The refugees have been staying at the installation in Sparta since their country fell to the Taliban. The base at one time had 13,000 refugees. Now it's around 7,000. The performance on Friday had all the trappings of any other, with refugees presenting their tickets at the door, applauding the top moments, and recording much of it on their cell phones. There's photos of this. It looks like a rock concert. Everyone's holding their cell phones up in the air, recording the Nutcracker. Like, people were loving it. Jonathan Solari, CEO of the Madison Ballet, said the excitement was palpable in the warehouse. I'm overwhelmed. My heart is full, Solari said. I cannot articulate how much joy it brought me to see them overjoyed. There were kids who had their chins up on the side of the stage, just in awe of the dancer. So like little kids were coming up.
That's awesome.
They were so excited. The mission to bring the Nutcracker to Fort McCoy started after reading about thousands of refugees on the base, half of whom are children. He and his spouse had previously worked with refugees in Greece and in early years of Europe's refugee crisis. What was best for the kids was a craft, a distraction, something to do. After messaging a friend last month who worked at the VA, Solari was put in touch with officials and lead agencies overseeing resettlement of the refugees. A 30-year-old Afghan woman who attended Friday's performance said she was not expecting this high caliber performance that the cast brought. It was amazing. I had a very good experience saying that. Though thousands of Afghans have been resettled, many do not know when they will leave McCoy. So it's a really, really difficult time for morale right now. They're probably extremely homesick. They're probably incredibly worried about friends and family who are left behind. They're probably completely up in the air about what their futures hold. So it's really cool for them to have just a quick mental break and enjoy something. And also,
it's probably really cool for the service members to be able to provide something like that.
Something happy and good. Yeah.
Like where I know you guys didn't grow up in like military families per se, like where one of your parents were in the military, but I did. And I remember going to the hangar where my dad worked in Maryland. And one of my favorite memories growing up was every year we would go and have like the squadron Christmas party. And as an active duty Marine with a kid, I always thought this is bullshit that we have to go here, bring them out. But then I look back at my own life and thought how great it was, like to see, because all of the military kids that you normally didn't hang out were like sitting school circle essentially on the squadron Santa. And then they would have like the plane hangar door open and they would bring out the huge Santa sack from like the plane that my dad would work on, and they would bring it out and then they would hand presents to all the kids. And we were like, yeah. And we were kids that had like very normal, what essentially was normal at the time, childhood, like where our parents would go on deployment and they would come back, and but it was essentially just training missions. Now these kids are getting to see Christmas for the first time ever, like because they don't really celebrate it in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
So it's their first Christmas experience ever. And the joy of having like the Nutcracker and seeing actual joy on these kids' faces would be something that you don't normally get is like a service member now of like great appreciation.
And by the way, the Nutcracker blows dicks off. When I was a kid, it's got dancing animals, dancing toys, an extremely tall woman with a bunch of people coming out from under her giant skirt. Like, it's a pretty fucking
dude who wrote
wild
that,
ride.
or lady, I don't know.
Thank
Definitely
you.
3G goofing.
Hitting some doinks for sure.
Yeah.
And one final cool note: the afternoon's performance had close to the heart importance for Layla Zazari, a 12-year-old who danced with the ballet. Her father came to the U.S. from Afghanistan in the 80s, and she called the performance inspirational. I feel very privileged to get to perform in front of the Afghans, she said. I'm just grateful that they liked it. It's almost like I'm telling them not to give up on their dreams. Like, look, my dad came here, and look at now I'm in the ballet and I'm doing my own dreams and whatever, like keep going. So I just thought that was really neat story.
Yeah, I think those personal stories from other immigrants who have gone on to do great things and are living fantastic lives is so inspirational.
Yeah.
It reminds me of when Shad Khan, the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, when he was talking about different immigrants coming, and he was saying, look, my family was that family that was coming whenever I was 12 years old and leaving Pakistan and coming here with nothing. And he was like, I worked so hard, and so did my family, and I am the embodiment of the American dream. And I would say going from being a 12-year-old immigrant, can't speak English, and working as a dishwasher to being a top 20 richest person in America is a pretty good story.
Yeah,
I'd say. So I'll never get tired of those stories.
No, it's fantastic. And like what he gives back and does now, I think that giving back is the best way to do that. And there is so many, if you're listening and you're living in a community that has a big refugee population of folks that came in from Afghanistan, there's still a bunch of need like for them, especially coats and things like that. So if you have extras laying around, I know I had a box full of like military sweatshirts and hoodies and things like that I didn't wear, and I took them down, and people loved them. Like getting things that you have like that, or if there's stuff that you don't need, Catholics Charities is a great way to do that too, because people are going to need support as it gets colder and colder and different parts of the country. So make sure that you're doing good things there. You have to say cons or no? Oh, you were leaning in. I thought I was like cons.
Oh no, we also we also brought a bunch of coats to the homeless shelter here in Hoboken this weekend, and certainly a good feeling when you can do something that's concrete, right? As opposed to maybe donate, like obviously donating money to different charities is very helpful because charities need money to operate. But when you can see something a little more concrete like that, I think it goes a lot further, for me at least.
No doubt. All right, let's move on to Save Rounds and Alibis, which today is going to be brought to you by our good friends at Rocky Boots. Rocky Boots is the best boots in the business. If you are looking for a last-minute Christmas gift, this is the one, because they get you 25% off right now. If you go to rockyboots.com with the promo code ZBT, they have speaking of jackets, they got great jackets that are like the thick material that farmers wear and shit like that. It's great. Make sure that you go check those out at roman.com. No, not roman.com, rockyboots.com. And then promo code ZBT at checkout. You're going to get 25% off for the best boots in the business, whether you're going hiking, which I want to start doing a lot. There's this new trail or I guess not a new trail, new to me. I saw it, and there's this TikTok that I follow, San Antonio things to do in Texas. I find things on there all the time that I've lived here for 10 years that I've never even heard of. How do these people find this shit? That must be all they do.
They just go out exploring.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to start doing if I use a little bit of Rocky Boots when I do it, so I don't twist my little baby ankles, all the shit.
Especially in snow and ice season. You want exactly that good. Right, when I wear my Rocky Boots, I felt like a little billy goat gripping those rocks.
Billy goats really are phenomenal. Like the way that they can move
much
up
like a Rocky boot.
What are their feet made of? Do you know?
Hooves.
No, but like, it's like leathery, right? Like, isn't that how they're so grippy?
Yeah, it's like a special material, sort of like the sole of a Rocky boot.
Make that, yeah. I bet if you had that and you marketed, we have goat hoof bottoms. I would buy those.
Don't tell PETA, but yeah, real goat hoof.
Yeah, I was gonna say some animal activists might not be fans of that.
It's a goat that died of natural causes.
How many goat paws do you think I would need I think I gotta have at least the hooves of 12 goats, I would imagine.
Sick brag.
Yeah. Anyways, let's move on to save round with the highs and cons. What do you got?
Just sending out some good vibes and thoughts and prayers to Elijah Riley, DB, graduated from Army. He's playing for the Jets now. He had a pretty scary neck injury yesterday in his game on Sunday, so hopefully he's doing all right. And then we were talking about concerts and what have you. I just want to put this out there. Very firm believer that you post one picture when you're at a concert. These people who post on their Instagram story a whole freaking set at a concert, just stop.
I've done that. I get so excited. It's stupid. I'm loving
it's stupid,
it. And I want to share it with my friends. I'm guilty of it.
Stupid. It's stupid because it's like through the phone you can't appreciate like what the music, and it's like get off your phone and enjoy the music. You get one picture. That's the rule in the concert crew that I'm part of. You get one picture and that's it.
Going to mansplain and having a good time at a concert.
Wow.
Get off. How can you have a good time if you're so worried about posting on your phone?
Gatekeeper.
God.
Yeah. I am going to gatekeep concerts. No, you know what? Do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. But listen, that's just what I do. One picture and that's it.
Fought for our freedom so he could tell us not to be free, chaps. Isn't that interesting?
Next thing he's going to force me to get the jab.
And the Fauci ouchie.
What do you got, Kate?
I have a question. Can artillery ever have negligent discharges, cons?
I would say no, but just because of the way you fire artillery,
it would take a whole big series of fucking up.
Yeah. So no, like, is it possible? Sure. Because if you just randomly left a round in the tube, and then the way you fire artillery, I'm just thinking about like a howitzer, like
so somebody trips and they're like, oh, I got to grab something. And they
pull the cord. Yes.
Right. I'm sure that happens a lot.
All the time. I guess
that would be real bad.
Yeah. It would be. It would be
going into the chow hall.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Sorry, entire town.
If you're doing artillery right, you always have your hand on the string.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
I wish that when you pulled it, when like I wish it made.
Is there a safety?
No.
Like we have to turn that motherfucker to fire or burst?
No.
Wow.
If I'm wrong, I might be wrong, but I don't remember there ever
being a 3-round burst.
No.
Damn it.
You ever forget to clamp it into the ground and it flips?
No. No to both of those questions.
Is there such thing as like artillery version of like Rambo when he has the whole belt, like where you can wear a belt of 155s and then just like feed them through like
maybe if you're the Liver King.
You ever get curious?
The Liver King's been doing all kinds of goofing with military grade weapons.
Of course.
He tried to cook a steak, a ribeye, with a fucking what's his name? Woody Williams type flamethrower.
Oh, good for him.
You ever put like a sack of potatoes in the tube just to see what happens? You ever put fun stuff in there?
I can honestly say I've never done that. But so here's the thing. In order to get anything to project from the tube, you need some sort of gunpowder. That's what makes it. So I guess
sounds like an excuse.
So would you say a potato gun is more of a mortar, artillery,
mortar?
Or
I would say it's a mortar. No,
what if you put hairspray down the tube, light it, then put the potatoes in?
No.
This has been really disappointing.
What if you got 250 macaques?
Right.
You said 250 macaques versus one artillery team that could have anything in your arsenal. Could you take out the 250 macaques? Given that they have open field, they have 300 meter fields. Could you take them out?
No way.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. Well, do I have a full?
Think so.
Wait. Let me ask. Do I have a full battery or just one gun?
How many's in a battery?
4.
We're talking double A or triple A?
I have one more sincere question.
Okay.
You're in some battle.
Yeah.
We're in Russia.
Uh-huh.
All hell is broken loose, and so we're doing old school battle now. Okay, they've got a battalion coming in a big line. Okay, you guys are in a line. You're in your trenches. You got your artillery cannons. Is that correct?
Yes.
Ew, you're going up and over like a basketball shot. But guess what? They've gotten past that point where even if you're shooting it straight up in the air, you're barely. Is there ever a point in battle where you're like, fuck it, put the cannon straight the fuck down like a gun and just shoot straight out. You know what I'm saying? Has that ever happened?
I'm sure it's happened at some point, but there's only so far that they can go down. No, they can go down pretty.
Like,
no, they can go parallel to the ground.
Yeah. Has anybody?
But here's well, I guess. But then you'd have to. So this would get tricky because then you'd have to do timed fuses, and you'd have to figure out when you want that thing to explode, because otherwise, there's ones that explode on impact, but then there's also the time fuses. So you'd have to time it perfectly.
Shotgun like kind where it blows out into 1,000 little balls. Well, you guys should look into that. I feel like that's
all right.
Would be important to have.
I'll send that up to Big Artillery.
Thank you.
All right, hand-to-hand combat. You have 200 Conor McGregors versus one silverback gorilla, but the silverback gorilla has a gun. Who wins?
Silverback gorilla. Conor McGregor. Excuse me.
He's little.
We were at a bar recently. Remember the bartender was from Ireland and said he had several encounters with Conor McGregor and that he's kind of a shitty person.
That goes into. I think that counts in his favor against a silverback gorilla.
True. Because they neither have morals.
I wonder how many people a silverback gorilla could take out. I think that number is limitless. Like, I don't think there is a limit. Like, hand-to-hand combat, it would be impossible for us to beat up a silverback gorilla. Just straight up, like, hand-to-hand.
Right.
One-on-one, yeah.
You would have to have. I don't think the number exists because you couldn't even pile on it enough to keep it subdued.
No, it's neck's too thick to do any math.
Well, yeah, because let's say, dude, you're kind of right, because even if you have 200, like only so many guys can touch a part of it at once, because it's
I guess only
space.
Guys are in this fight.
Anything else, Kate?
No, that's it for me. No, that's it for me.
Okay, quick question for you guys. Your overall number one favorite toy you ever got on Christmas?
Easy. 1989 Nintendo.
Oh. Nintendo. Yep.
Nintendo for you too, Kate.
Yep. I think it was a gift for my brother, but I took it as mine immediately.
Oh, mine was easily my Huffy Mudslinger bike.
Good.
When
you get a bike on Christmas
on the side, and I got to ride it through the woods in Maryland by myself and go up and down these little natural ramps. It was awesome. Then somebody stole it, threw it into the water, and I got it back like a month later. It was a miracle. It's on the retreat.
No, we should have said happy holidays, everyone.
Say it right now.
Cares?
It's still recording.
Yeah. Oh. Hey, everybody. Merry Christmas. As you're listening to this.
It's not recording.
No.
Merry Christmas.
It is.
No, it is. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. We appreciate you. Is anyone really listening? I don't know if Chaps is fucking with me or not.
You can see the little thing that says recording.
I appreciate you all. I'm going to go. I feel weird. I'm starting to sweat.
All right.
Bye.